I wanted to talk about the wasted potential of Doctor Strange in the Ultimate Universe. So, the Ultimate Universe was really weird about magic in general. Like, Doctor Strange, when he first appeared, his first real appearance was in Ultimate Spider Man. Before that, it's the less canon Marvel team up stuff, but his first, real appearance was in Ultimate Spider Man. And the Doctor Strange of this universe is Doctor Strange Jr., and he is the son of the original Doctor Strange, Anclea, who disappeared away from this dimension somehow, and now he is the de facto new Doctor Strange. He is not as experienced. He has Wong essentially help him do the things that he does in his day to day, including the magic stuff, and he messes up a lot. And it's a cool idea. It's a different idea for Doctor Strange, even though he looks exactly like his father. He's just slightly younger. The thing that gets me is that uh, his character had very limited appearances, most of them in Ultimate Spider Man, and the character wasn't allowed to do much. So, the first two issues he was in, he fights Nightmare. Nightmare is possessing Spider Man essentially, and he's trying to help him out. And it's a really good issue. I love the ending is the last panel, the last issue, legitimately is a very sad scene of Mary Jane outside in the rain as Peter is just terrified of being near her. And the only reason that Strange actually won is essentially dumb luck. So it shows how inexperienced that he was as a sorcerer and that he has to train to get better. And the next time he appears, it's in the Marvel Knights arc. Daredevil forms a Marvel Knights Defenders thing, and one of the people he recruits is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is pretty invaluable for getting stuff done, using tracking spells and stuff. It also shows kind of that his magic does have its limits. Daredevil does have to help out to supplement his powers essentially. And then his next appearance after that is where he dies in Ultimatum. In Ultimatum, after the big wave hits New York, the Sanctum Sanctorum gets flooded, which allows Dormammu to escape, and he captures Johnny Storm using his extra powers from Johnny to strangle Doctor Strange. And then after that, we see his body being taken away by a mysterious person. We don't know who they are. They just seem sad that Doctor Strange is dead and walk away with his body. And that's the last we see of Doctor Strange. A bit anticlimactic and also kind of contradictory. So, okay, let me get into how magic works in the Ultimate Universe. Magic in the Ultimate Universe is kind of complicated. So, for the first half of the Ultimate Universe, it was very much oh, we have to keep stuff grounded. Like early MCU, like that example of in Thor, when it's oh, we don't have magic. It's just technology so advanced that it might as well be magic. And other characters also kind of treat it like that in the actual comic books too. There's a scene in Ultimate Fantastic Four Requiem where Sue brings that up. It's just technology that we don't understand yet. And then in Ultimates, it's taken to it's a really big plot point because the validity of Thor as a deity is put into question, and by the end of it, we do figure out it was actually Loki making it seem like he's just a crazy person who found and stole this belt and hammer to beat Thor. But by the end of that, like I said, it is confirmed Asgard exists, magic exists. The only thing is though, as the Ultimate Universe went on, it kind of flip flopped on whether that was the reality of how magic works in this world. The death of Doctor Strange is essentially the ultimate end point to that, where this crazy powerful demon lord captures the Human Torch for 12 hours and uses that power to kill the Sorcerer Supreme, which in this world is a show title, not really an actual title given to like an actual wizard. And at the end of the Ultimate Fantastic Four Requiem #1, it turns out it's just a guy. But how does that work? So it was a guy with technology? Because that's what's implied by Susan Storm's dialogue. And that's the last time we see Dormammu in this world. So it's a little confusing. What is magic in the Ultimate Universe? Depends on the writer, really. And the body of Doctor Strange, like I mentioned earlier, just kind of disappears. Never brought back again. Maybe there was plans to do something about that, but so far nothing has come of that. And the end of magic, I think, is best seen in a later Ultimates run. When the Maker first appears, he invades Asgard, and he finds the source of all Asgardians' like powers and magic through the World Tree, and like destroys like their connection to the source of their Asgardianness. So in a way, he was right. Sue was right. It is just technology so advanced, at least in their world. So theoretically, Sue Storm just somehow disconnected Dormammu's connection to magic. And maybe even he himself didn't know that's what was happening. That's the only explanation I have for like what the death of magic is in the Ultimate Universe. I'm glad the MCU kind of shifted away from that and magic gets to be its own thing that's actually respected. Yeah, no, the early realistic route, which was like, focused in on the Ultimate Universe's whole aesthetic, was nice for the first phase of the MCU. But being able to get into more fantastical stuff, like, the Doctor Strange movies and like the Guardians of the Galaxy, even though that's not magic, but the fact that it's just more like whimsical and out there than the first phase of the MCU.